Thank you very much. 5 minutes after 4 o'clock here at Canoe FM. And we are very delighted to have a guest with us this afternoon. Robert Wright is the gentleman's name. Or do I call you Rob?
You can call me Rob, Mike.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll call you Rob. Rob Wright. And Rob is an author. It's really nice to have you here. I had the pleasure of reading your new book called A Long Paddle Home. Robert, one of the things I found really fascinating about your background is that you've been an outdoor educator for nigh on 30 years.
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
So,
yeah.
That's a big career in itself.
It is.
How on earth did you get to decide to write a book?
So what happened is every time I did a venue or a group of people, right, I would write short stories. It's just something in me. I would write these short stories.
Really?
So then these short stories would just go and I'd hand them out. And then one short story wasn't supposed to become a book, but it became a book.
Isn't that something?
And so the short story was about the camaraderie that happens when you are in a group of people and you're camping. And that's all it was supposed to be. And next thing you know, I had a novel on my hands.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
The story embraces a number of encounters out in the woods and on the lakes.
Right.
And portages as well. Boy, and some of those portages sounded pretty brutal.
They're pretty wild. Yeah,
they were pretty wild.
Yeah.
Are any of these from things that you've seen or lived through?
100%. So the stories that you read in this book, not the stories, but the journey that the people take in this book.
Yeah.
I absolutely took that journey. Like, I've been on every site that is in this book. I've walked every portage that's in this book. I needed to have firsthand knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely did. And I drew on my 50-plus years of experience in the wilderness and teaching people and, talking to the animals, if you will, not like Dr. Doolittle, but you understand what I mean, right? And, I absolutely drew on that. I mean, the bear claw around my neck is from my best friend, a black bear. So he taught me more stuff than any book could teach me. But the point being is, so all these animals that are in this book, wolves, man, I've had many encounters with wolves, all positive, every single one positive. So they taught me tons too. So they're really heavy in the book.
Now, tell me, in this whole story, there's a lot of activity on the water in
Correct.
Canoes. People in canoes. Our hero is in a canoe.
Of course.
You obviously love canoeing.
Absolutely.
And this became really a bit of a backbone for the story because it connects so much of the geography.
Right. And the reason I did that, Mike, first and foremost, I live in a canoe. I love it. I'll sleep in a canoe if I can do it, right? But the point being, anyway, regardless, the point being is, right, so for me, as I'm paddling, it's almost like every paddle that I take, every pull on that paddle, as it slices through the water, it's just taking me to another journey, right? It's just taking me to something I don't know where I'm going to. And the other thing about canoeing, and the reason I used it in the book, is it is an allegory for life. Everybody's paddling their own canoe, right?
That's true.
And the problem is that everybody's carrying baggage. Well, if you have ever done a portage, you don't want to carry baggage, right? So the baggage I'm referring to is our expectations.
How true.
Drop the expectations, and you will be able to carry lightly. So the fella in the book, Stephen, he needs to drop a lot of stuff before he can get through this.
Amen.
Right.
We'll get to that story in a moment.
Right.